Good morning, photojournalists. Making this first YouTube video for you today about photo composition. Doing this from my office at home, and there's a dog in the background, so if you hear it, I apologize for that, but she likes to bark. This first video about photo composition is really important because photo composition is something that we will never stop talking about and never stop using for the rest of the course, and really for the rest of the time that you ever take photographs. I want to start talking about photo composition using a quote that I've actually already mentioned to you once at least, by who is probably the most famous sort of commercial photographer in the world, and that's Ansel Adams, who was not technically a photojournalist but more of a landscape photographer. But as you see there, his quote is that you don't take a photograph, you make it. And that's really what photo composition is about, especially in a day and age where a lot of photography is random and circumstantial. We get used to taking snapshots with our phones, whether it be just of something that's happening in our normal everyday life, or if it's something that we see that seems to be out of the ordinary. A lot of times we just let the photo happen rather than try to really craft the photograph, which is really what photojournalism is about. As you see there on the right, to put it another way, photo composition is about the order or arrangement of elements in a photograph that helps tell your story. When we look through the viewfinder at a subject, whether it be a football game or a speech or anything that we are going to cover to tell a story of, it's going to contain people, it's going to contain setting, it's going to contain other things, and it is our job as the journalist to arrange or orient that photograph so that it tells the story we want to tell. Now, most of the time, as we've talked about, we don't have the ability or the opportunity to talk to the people, say, hey, move over there, or could you look this way? Because we are not trying to capture a staged photograph. We're trying to capture a photograph as it happens. So photo composition, the way we arrange those things by moving ourselves, by the angles that we approach, that's really what photo composition is about. As that second sort of bullet there says, while photographic style, while the emotions of a photograph come a lot from sort of a variety of places, there are still concrete elements we can focus on that are going to help give our photographs a chance to be better every single time. So the composition principles that we're going to discuss specifically are leading lines, landscape or portrait orientation, which really is as simple as the way you're going to hold the camera, but can be as complicated as the way that you crop a photo or focus the action in a certain shape. Framing, which talks about using natural elements around the subject of the photo to focus the photo. Getting close, which is exactly what it sounds like, getting closer to whatever the main subject of your photograph is. And then lastly, the rule of thirds, which is probably the most universal composition principle of not just photography, but of art and other design elements. So this was just an introduction. I'm going to try to keep these videos under 5 minutes, so I will do a video for each one of the principles. So please go ahead and click on the next video, which will be the principle of leading lines.